Oh, I guess you got old Santa with his hand in the cookie jar. That's okay, though. I'm glad you're here. We've got a lot to talk about.
For many of us who grew up celebrating Christmas every year with family and friends, the holiday season fills our hearts with joy and gives us that warm fuzzy feeling like a snug ugly Christmas sweater. Most of these fond feelings for the holiday were formed from our pleasant memories of Christmases past. From early childhood, we have learned to associate 12/25 with gleeful gatherings of family and friends, giving and receiving gifts, good food, and great times. Now garnish this nostalgia for Noel with the happy hormones oxytocin and dopamine, which are released when we are kind and giving towards others, and you have the perfect recipe for what many of us call Christmas cheer, or the spirit of the season.
Yum.
But even the most festive Whovillean can experience feelings of anxiety and depression around this time of year. There are even some who downright dread the season to be jolly.
Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Humbug, 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 humbug.
On this installment of PsychRad, we're going to talk a bit about some of the things about Christmas that can make us feel a bit grinchy, and to offer some tips on how to cope and keep your tinsel from getting in a tangle.
Financial woes.
One of the most common headaches around the holiday season is the financial cost of buying gifts, traveling to visit family and friends, decking the halls, and providing fancy feasts with all the fixings. For some, these extra expenses are not a problem, but for many more, it can be a considerable financial strain. And for others, it is financially undoable.
Shitter was full!
Meanwhile, we are being told through advertising that we can buy our way to Christmas bliss. And in a way, this is true, in that studies have shown that we are happier when we spend money on other people than we are when we spend it on ourselves. Nonetheless, even the most generous of gift givers can experience stress related to overspending, especially when it comes time to pay back Santa's little plastic helpers. And although it may be difficult to resist overspending, especially if you have children with visions of iPhones dancing in their heads, sticking to a reasonable holiday budget can help you from feeling Scrooged in the long run.
Christmas is once a year and it's a fraud!
Family matters.
Some may say there is no such thing as too much family, but even the most affable family members may feel a little tense and perhaps even emotionally melt down a bit at certain moments during holiday get-togethers. Don't get me wrong, there's no better way to raise your spirits than spending time with family and friends during the holidays, but for some people, attending these gatherings can be quite stressful and emotionally draining. Such family festivities can be especially difficult if there's a family history of abuse and/or trauma, or if certain family members are unaccepting of other family members' religious, political, or other preferences.
Dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
There are always going to be certain family members that we don't see eye to eye with, and who we may find ourselves in conflict with over any number of topics and situations, including family norms,
Get the glue.
cultural expectations,
Smiling hat!
and various other personal and ideological differences.
No. Shoot your eye out.
And although it may be challenging to remain cheery in the face of adversity, we can choose how to react and respond when interacting with opinionated, hypercritical, and even abusive relatives.
Nephew, you keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Christmas is a loving, honest, and charitable time. And though it's never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that Christmas has done me good and will do me good, and I say, God bless it.
At least for one day, set aside your differences, opinions, and criticisms, and try to accept your family members for who they are. Although participation in these family gatherings may seem obligatory, we always have the option to avoid them altogether, which may be the best course of action if your family's dynamics are truly abusive, unpleasant, or otherwise unhealthy.
Loneliness.
As difficult as some family interactions can be, isolation from family and friends during the holidays can be even worse. We think of the holidays as a time of togetherness and spending time with family and friends, so it's easy to feel depressed and unloved when we must spend them alone. Whether it be from relocation, a marital breakup, or self-imposed isolation, there are always ways in which you can ease your loneliness. If you are far from home and cannot physically be with the ones you love, reach out and touch someone via telephone, the internet, or snail mail. Simply staying connected to family and friends during the holiday season can significantly improve your mood. Or if you've been estranged from your family for some time, perhaps it would be a good time to reconcile your differences and try to patch things up if possible. And if that doesn't jingle your bells, you may want to try attending community events such as caroling by candlelight or a holiday concert, or volunteering at the Salvation Army and other charitable organizations. By helping others, you might save yourself from having another blue Christmas.
Bereavement.
Grief over a lost loved one can be especially intense around the holidays. Whether their passing was recent or long ago, their presence on these special occasions will always be greatly missed. Some bereaved families may want to skip Christmas altogether because it's too painful to celebrate without their lost loved one, but this may only exacerbate their grief. So rather than try to ignore the holiday, family members should come together and discuss how they each would like to celebrate it, while respecting each other's personal grieving process. And if possible, talk to each other about your shared grief and memories of your lost loved one. But keep in mind that some might prefer to grieve on their own terms and not engage in these emotional conversations. Even simply talking to or writing your lost loved one a letter could be comforting. And why not? This is the most magical time of the year. Grief certainly doesn't take a break during the holidays, but it's important to remember that you don't have to feel guilty for having a Merry Christmas despite the absence of your dearly departed.
The perfect Christmas.
In my opinion, the biggest mistake many of us make this time of year, or any time of the year for that matter, is our obsession with the futile pursuit of perfection. Advertising and other agents of persuasion have us believing that we need to buy that perfect gift or host the perfect dinner party, and that the perfect Christmas is obtainable. But it's not. In fact, perfection does not exist at all in our imperfect world. Albeit unscientific, Murphy's Law dictates that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And in my experience, old Murphy nailed it. All that we can gain by striving for perfection is anxiety, depression, and other mental and physical health problems. So stop stressing over having the perfect Christmas and appreciate all the good things in your life this holiday season. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, receiving that not-so-perfect gift, gorging yourself full of good food, or learning for the first time after joining your local community choir that you have the voice of an angel.